Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of November 30th through December 6th. And during that time, we'll have a waxing gibbous moon, and that's a time when it's a good time for us to demonstrate our flexibility because we're making adjustments on the things that we're buckling down and working on. But it's a good time also to act on your intuition and your introspection. So keep that in mind. We then move into that full moon energy on December 5th. And that is a time of heightened emotions. Some people can be prone to feeling overwhelmed and anxious or a little snappy and irritable. If you're like me, I just get really full of energy. So, and it's positive energy. I'm not irritable at all. It's my favorite time of the month, obviously, those few days of full moon energy. So, keep those moon energies in mind as we're moving through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So, as always, Cancer, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: step out of your comfort zone. All right, let's see what the Cancer Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling here, I will tell you that my fun weekly reminder this week is that you pay attention to synchronicities. This could be so many things. This just the way the universe speaks to you and its special little breadcrumbs that it offers. And these things can come through in the way of maybe an animal that you encounter that's not one, not like your pet, but an animal that you don't see every day. And all of a sudden, there's one in your path for some reason. So and how I use that energy is I might take the attributes of that animal. Sometimes I have to look them up and see, like, what are the attributes of this animal, and then use those attributes in a situation that's going on in my life at the moment. So that's kind of how I use that animal synchronicity. And I do run across animals that I don't see every day. And it happens actually more often. I live in a suburban area where we used to be kind of more rural, but it's kind of, the world has grown up around us a little bit. But we do, for a suburban area, I see a lot of animals. Just saying. It's like, wow, is that really in my yard right now? Anyway, that's a way to use the animal synchronicity. But all other synchronicities could be numbers that are repeating, could be a song or a conversation that you overhear, just little bits and pieces that are out there. And they're just kind of there to point you to in the right direction on your path. So that is just my fun weekly reminder, is that you pay attention, Cancer, to those synchronicities. All right, I will quit babbling about that. And let's get into this reading. Cancer, November 30th through December 6th. Step out of your comfort zone. All right. Your overall present energy right now is the 10 of Pentacles. So on your mind looks like you're kind of your longevity, which could be kind of stepping out of your comfort zone. You may be thinking about things in the future that have to do with we know with finances, it could be things like wills and that sort of thing that doesn't seem, a lot of fun to think about, but you got to take care of those responsibilities. But thinking about your long-term financial wealth and material wealth, and how you can maybe extend those things and pass those things on to your family later on. So or it could be maybe not even that. I don't know. That came up first, but it could be also that you're like, how can I make more money? How can I become more wealthy so that I do have something to pass on to? So, just make sure you're making the right decisions there. But it seems to be on your mind this week a little bit. Your current situation is that here's the Six of Pentacles, and maybe you're in giving mode right now, and maybe you're trying to wonder how to distribute those things before you go, right? That could be too. If some of you are a little older listeners, you may be thinking, what are the tax advantages if I start moving things around and put this in someone's name, and do those sorts of things that happen. So of course, you want to do a lot of research on that, seek the right kind of financial counsel on how to manage any things that having to do with your estate. But it also could be that, you're just wondering how to give, and if you have the means to give, it could go even beyond your family. How will you give in the years to come to maybe a charity of your choice? So, usually with this card, I ask if it's kind of giving, receiving, but I'm just really feeling that this is about giving this week. And we're also entering the holiday season, and that's another thing to be thinking about too, is giving to others. At the root of this situation is the Chariot card. So looks like you're about to make some sort of move and you are gathering information. And if it happens to be in the financial realm and about longevity and giving, then of course, like I said, you want to seek out that kind of counsel, people that know more than you do about that sort of thing. If it's not your specialty, find those people. They're out there. You can seek their counsel and make sure that you're making the right decisions on where your money can go best to serve you and others in your life as well. In your recent past is the Lovers card, which I will hold like this so that I cover up, I guess, because YouTube apparently has some interesting. They've made some recent adjustment in maybe the AI and how they see cards like this, but Lovers card is in your recent past, and of course, this could be something that you and your spouse have been talking about. You and your partner. Maybe are you agreeing, disagreeing on how this needs to come about? This could be something, or it could be something where um you're just considering that person in these conversations, but you're in a good place to do it. It looks like you're coupled up and you're thinking about these kinds of things. I'm going to grab a couple of crystals here as I put this card down to cover our people here with. Anyway, but yeah, the Lovers card is in your recent past. This could have been a coming together. It could be something that the conversation that you had that brought this kind of into view and made you think about this Chariot card and how you might want to make some moves. So all right, we are going to cover up our people here on the Lovers card. Why? Because of YouTube. Just saying. All right, what's on your mind? I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh so hard. But that's a new guideline. You must have tweaked the AI or did something. All right, on your mind this week, Cancer is the Emperor card. So this is a card of leadership. This is a card of getting things accomplished, getting things done. I'm not shocked to see that with them when these things are on your mind. Of course, you want to have a clear vision of how maybe you're building this long-term wealth, but this is a card of someone who is established, who's an authority figure, knows how to get things done, who kind of follows the rules. So maybe you're conservative when it comes to financial type things and investing and that sort of thing. You're not risking money. You're just very carefully, and that's great that do that. That's if that's how you are, but do be as what's the word, what's the opposite of risk taking, again, I guess conservative, just being very conservative in how you make those decisions for just longevity that isn't super risky, I guess is the word I'm looking for. What is just ahead of you this week is the King of Cups. So, as you take on this control and you have this kind of mindset of being a leader and this vision of how you want to give in the future, how you want to kind of set things up, you're also doing this with a really good understanding and knowledge of your emotional well-being and balance, probably your partners as well, probably the people around you also, and maybe your offspring or the people that may benefit at some point at your thinking ahead right now. So interesting to keep in mind there. What is in your advice position is to enjoy the fruits of your labor here with the Nine of Pentacles. So lots of pentacles, lots of money on the mind right now. So of course you're going to be thinking about the longevity of people around you and building something also, not only for your spouse and your family, your kids, that sort of thing, but you need to enjoy the fruits of some of your labor as well. This is there's a reason why you've been working so hard, and some of that is maybe plan that vacation, maybe take that trip, maybe do that home improvement thing that you've been wanting to do, that you need to also indulge yourself a little bit. Yes, think about the future, of course, but if you've got it, it's okay to enjoy a little bit of it as well. Don't forget to do that also. What is beyond your control this week is the Queen of Pentacles. Lots of pentacles and royalty. Anytime I start to see a couple of royalty cards, I do think we're involving other people. But beyond your control is this Queen of Pentacles, which is about that feminine understanding about where if the king is like the knowledge of how to get the things done, the queens are about the emotional aspect of it. What is the emotional aspect of giving? What is the emotional aspect of enjoying the fruits of your labor? The Queen of Pentacles just knows how to manage things in that feminine energy way, that the house is clean, the dinner's on the table, the bank account is, the bills are paid, the bank account's squared away, there's savings put aside. That's kind of that feminine energy of that, where the king would be like more how to conquer it and bring it in. The queen is just more the feminine side. All right, what is your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Is the Three of Cups. So your secret desire is maybe some sort of celebration and relaxing, or you're trying to avoid it. If I'm having to tell you here to enjoy the fruits of your labor, maybe you've been trying to avoid just kind of relaxing and having a good time and just enjoying your money a little bit. And if that's the case, then this is your reminder. Maybe it is your secret desire to do that. Is it, or are you trying to avoid it? I mean, I almost feel like you are trying to avoid it. If I'm having to describe to you and remind you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, it's okay to have a good time, Cancer, occasionally, right? Um, Relax a little. I feel like saying in your outcome position is the Ace of Wands. So, Ace of Wands is, of course, it's a new passion, but it's also just a big yes. And I feel like it's a big yes to all the things we've been talking about here. Yes, you want to pay attention to your longevity, but are you stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit when it comes to enjoying the fruits of your labor and just kind of celebrating and relaxing, and a little bit with that money too? I think there's a good balance that you can come to. That's the responsible thing to me to do, is to not only enjoy it, but also put some away for a rainy day. All right, hidden from you, Cancer, this week is the Two of Wands. So, and this is kind of thinking about more immediate future. So, this long-term question is just something that's come up for you. Maybe it's because you've recently spent time with family. I know we're just coming off of Thanksgiving. That could be, the thing that's just kind of got you thinking. Your wheels are turning about this. So, all right, let's see what Cancer needs to do here or get a final word. I'm sorry, from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word for Cancer. Whoops, that card wants to come right out. So you get two cards this week, Cancer. We will take both of those. Oh, three. Love your spirit is the first card that comes out. Shine your light is the next card. Love your spirit, shine your light, and make no judgments. Okay, all good messages that are coming out here. Love your spirit, shine your light, make no judgments, and enjoy yourself a little bit. I think that might be the title of this video, Cancer, is it's okay also sometimes to enjoy yourself. You don't have to be so dang responsible all the time. And we do need to do that, but sometimes it's fun to lighten up as well. All right, self-care for Cancer this week. Self-care November 30th, December 6th for Cancer. All right, the card that you get is the card that says surrender. I love the art on that. It's so pretty. Stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. Well, how true is that, Cancer? Stop trying to control so much. Enjoy a little bit. Go have that drink with friends. Go celebrate something, laugh, enjoy, have a good time. So, Cancer, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in your life this week in a positive manner. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below. Let me know if this is something that you're going through right now. Maybe some of the whys and how you're going about it. That would be very interesting to know. Also, if you like my reading style, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps my channel, which I appreciate so much. But more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, and we can see if this energy continues or if there's something completely new here for you next week. So, Cancer, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.